They call him the kindest man in Hollywood. But before the world saw his smile, Keanu Reeves walked through shadows most people never escape. Born in Beirut, abandoned by his father, and moved across continents before he was 10, Keanu never had a place to call home. His mother worked nights as a showgirl. His stepfathers came and went, and he learned early that people don't always stay. As a kid in Toronto, he struggled with dyslexia. School wasn't easy, but ice hockey was his refuge. They called him the Wall, a fearless goalie who'd rather take a puck to the face than let a goal pass. That discipline, that quiet courage, it never left him. But destiny had other plans. Acting found him. From theater rehearsals to his first TV commercials, Keanu wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing peace. His smile, that calm warmth, became magnetic. Then came River's Edge, then Point Break, and finally, Speed. Suddenly, the quiet kid from nowhere was the world's action hero. Yet behind every red carpet flash was a man who still ate alone. Hollywood adored him, but Keanu never truly believed he belonged there. He'd ride the subway to premieres, give away money to the crew, sit beside strangers just to listen, because deep down, he knew something fame could never buy: connection. And while the world was about to worship him as Neo, his real story, the one nobody saw, was only beginning. When The Matrix exploded across the world in 1999, Keanu Reeves became something more than a star. He became an icon. Leather coat, sunglasses, bullet time, Neo was everywhere. People saw a chosen one. But Keanu? He saw the one thing he'd always feared: emptiness. Because while the world was calling him the one, he had quietly found his own one, Jennifer Syme. She wasn't a Hollywood actress, not another face in the fame machine. She was gentle, artistic, and real. She grounded him. For the first time, Keanu felt home. In 1999, they were expecting a baby girl. Her name would have been Ava Archer Syme Reeves. Keanu built a nursery. Jennifer picked the curtains. They were ready for a life that finally made sense. But destiny, once again, had other plans. 8 months into her pregnancy, Ava was stillborn. The world didn't know. The tabloids didn't care. But Keanu broke. He stopped smiling. He stopped talking. He buried himself in silence. Jennifer spiraled into grief, too. They tried to stay close, tried to heal, but the pain was too deep. A year later, she died in a tragic car accident after leaving a party in Los Angeles. And that was it. The man who had lost his father, his childhood, and now the woman he loved, lost himself. No interviews, no movies, no spotlight. He rode his motorcycle for hours alone, sat on park benches for days, just thinking. Paparazzi caught him once, eating a sandwich by himself. The photo became the viral sad Keanu meme. People laughed, shared, and joked. But they didn't know that behind that quiet man was a story of grief so raw it had no words. Still, he never lashed out, never blamed anyone. When fans approached, he smiled. When strangers asked for help, he listened. He once gave a homeless man his lunch. Another time, he bought breakfast for the film crew who couldn't afford it. It wasn't charity. It was empathy, the kind you can't fake. Because Keanu Reeves learned something Hollywood never could teach him: that you can lose everything and still choose kindness. And just when everyone thought he had faded away forever, a new chapter began, a story of redemption, a story that would bring him back to the screen and into the hearts of millions. For years, Keanu Reeves drifted like a ghost through Hollywood, unseen, untouched, uninterested. He rode the subway, lived quietly, and worked on small indie films no one talked about. The world had moved on, or so it thought. Then, one phone call changed everything. A director named Chad Stahelski, once Keanu's stunt double, had an idea. A story about a broken man who loses the only thing that gave his life meaning and chooses vengeance. The movie was called John Wick. When Keanu read the script, he didn't see an assassin. He saw grief. He saw the reflection of a man who had buried too many people, who carried too many ghosts. And for the first time in a long time, he felt something. "I understand him," Keanu said quietly in an interview years later. "He's a man trying to find peace in a world that won't let him have it." The film was made on a modest budget, with no studio hype, no massive marketing. But when it hit theaters in 2014, it exploded. Critics called it a resurrection. Audiences saw something real behind the gunfights. Pain, discipline, purpose. Suddenly, Keanu Reeves wasn't just back. He was reborn. But what stunned Hollywood wasn't the movie's success. It was who Keanu became after it. He refused massive paychecks to make sure stunt teams got bonuses. He gave motorcycles as gifts to every crew member. He showed up early, stayed late, and thanked everyone by name. Keanu treats everyone like they matter, one camera assistant said. He doesn't just act like a hero. He lives like one. Between John Wick's sequels, The Matrix revival, and his unexpected video game role as Johnny Silverhand in Cyberpunk 2077, Keanu wasn't chasing fame anymore. He was chasing meaning. He created a motorcycle company, a publishing imprint for artists, quietly donated millions to children's hospitals anonymously. While others built empires, he built compassion. And still, when asked what makes him happy, he smiled and said, "Being alive. That's the secret." After losing so much, he learned to see life not as something owed, but as something gifted. Every sunrise, every handshake, every laugh, a miracle. The man the world thought was broken had become unbreakable. But behind that calm strength, something deeper was growing. A quiet understanding that his story wasn't about revenge, fame, or success. It was about redemption. And the next chapter of his life would prove that the most powerful thing about Keanu Reeves wasn't what he survived. It was how he healed. They call him the monk of Hollywood. While other stars live in mansions guarded by walls of glass and ego, Keanu Reeves lives quietly, like a man who's seen the storm and chosen peace instead of power. He doesn't chase trends. He doesn't flaunt cars or gold chains. He still rides the subway. He still walks among the crowd. Sometimes fans spot him sitting on a park bench, feeding birds, or helping someone carry groceries. He smiles, waves, and disappears like a shadow with a heartbeat. To the outside world, that seems strange. But to Keanu, it's freedom. Because fame, he says, is a cage, and he's already spent enough of his life locked inside pain. Now, he moves differently, talks softer, listens longer. He once told a journalist, "Money doesn't mean anything to me. I've made enough to last for centuries. The only thing that matters is sharing time with people who are real." And he lives that truth. When he signs autographs, he never rushes. When he takes photos, he keeps his hands hovering, never touching, always respectful. That small gesture turned into a global meme, respectful Keanu. But to him, it's not a performance. It's how he honors others. Behind closed doors, Keanu meditates, reads philosophy, and rides his motorcycle through the desert, a ritual he calls soul therapy. He believes in energy, in kindness, and letting go. He once said, "Grief never leaves. It just changes shape." And he's learned to turn that grief into grace. He once gave a janitor a cup of coffee and said, "You make this place work, man. Thank you." No cameras, no PR team, no hashtags. Just Keanu being Keanu. That's the magic people can't fake. In a world obsessed with image, he became a legend by simply being human. They say humility is power restrained, and Keanu Reeves is living proof. He could rule the industry. Instead, he chooses to walk among it, silent, grounded, grateful. Because for Keanu, the real victory isn't fame, it's peace. And yet, even in that stillness, the world keeps calling. New roles, new stories, and one more test, a chance to use his quiet influence for something greater than himself. The legend wasn't over. It was only evolving.